everyone, I am Tacet, and welcome to the Gems of War stream. Sorry that we're a little bit late, was just grabbing lunch, as I mentioned in chat, just picking up a little bit of Taco Bell, just so I wouldn't get hungry, because yesterday when we ended up streaming, didn't end up grabbing anything until like dinner, when we ended up stopping, but nice and well fed now, and now we'll go and mess around with doing most rest of the grind for this hero class. We currently have it at level 60. Probably aiming for about a 66, 67 or so by the end of stream. Definitely want to get to 70 by the end of the week, so we can finally show a maxed out Barbarian class, because it's still a rather underwhelming hero class, but we still need to get it regardless. And yeah, we haven't been able to really show it much to its full capability. Of course, it did end up getting nerfed a little while back when they ended up making its ability actually work as intended, but it's still some usability nonetheless. But anyways, other than that, we got a pretty big adventure board today off of the calendar. It's not a special one, however, this is very, very rare. I think it's like 1% chance per day, or somewhere around there. Might even be a little bit lower than that. But yeah, we got the Mythic one with the 2 VIP keys. If you're wondering where most of my VIP keys came from, they were just laying right there. I believe they're almost entirely from those 2 at a time, given that it isn't divisible by 2 as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just from those Mythic tasks ever since they ended up adding them. What it was, about a year ago? I forget how long Adventure Board has been around. It's been almost a year at this point. Might be a little bit less than a year. But yeah, we ended up getting that. We ended up getting some brown deeds with an Imperial, 6 of them. And then some Myth Stones, which isn't really that relevant. But yeah, 6 brown, an Imperial, 2 VIP keys, and I believe that's 10 gem keys? Yeah, 10 gem keys. So some pretty good loot all around. And actually, this task is the highest gem value task that we can ever get. Obviously, it's not gems, like 100 gems. However, its gem value comes out to, oh gosh, what was it? It's 90 off of that, and I believe the VIP keys are 90 as well. I'm not mistaken if you break them down to their value. I keep forgetting how much each of them are worth. I believe it's 45 each. And if that is the case, yeah, 90, 90 is 180. So that is 180 gem value right there. And that's a low ball estimate. The high ball is 200. So, yeah, pretty nice loot. And also, some people can't even get VIP keys because you need, unless you get it off of things like that, you need to have $130 spent on the game. They're not really meta, so you don't really ever need to necessarily go for them. As you can see, since we've been collecting them for almost a year, I haven't even used a single VIP key. They haven't been meta for about 2 years now. But they do technically have the highest mythic drop rate in the game, as well as the highest mythic drop rate relative to gem cost. They technically have twice the drop rate of gem keys relative to gem cost. So if you buy the same amount of gem keys and the same amount of VIP keys, you have basically double the chance to get a mythic off of VIP keys. But yeah, 1% each as far as their drop rate. But anyways, Valentine's is all over. However, we still have last year's Valentine's Day pet today as well. Obviously, we had no event this weekend. However, the thing that they were kind of running instead was this Valentini thing. So you can end up getting yourself a copy of this if you haven't gotten it last year, or you could just do, of course, still do it just to get more copies, since most people obviously don't have it max unless they wasted gems on it. But worth considering. Actually, should we waste gems on it? Let me double check. What kingdom are you even for? I don't think that's worth it. If I had to guess, it's probably Whitehelm. Easiest way to do that is probably to just type in its name, Val, and yeah, it is Whitehelm. That's what I thought. How many are from Whitehelm? Whitehelm. Oops, the misclick. The gigantic misclick. Also, what on earth is my stream thing doing? There we go. Let's see. Kingdom. Where's Whitehelm? Whitehelm. Oh, yeah, we already have 3 pets here. And assuming you're already done the Hall of Guardians, you would have 2 maxed out pets. The one that's been out forever, and then the Tiny Dancer from Hall of Guardians. But nice. Okay, so we don't need to go and upgrade that or anything like that. We still want to get a copy of it, obviously, if you don't already have one. But anyways, let's start getting on the grind. We still have quite a bit of ways to go, and that will be a good majority of this stream. So if anyone has any questions, this would be a great stream for them, that is for sure. Since a good majority of the stream, we will be on the hero class grind. Also, I didn't even say hello to everyone yet. Hello! Oh gosh, it goes back quite a bit. Hello, Lochnar. Hello, RapPF, and thank you for re-supporting the channel. Greatly appreciated. It definitely helps out a lot. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Lochnar. Hello, hello, Bill Warhammer, with your lurking and flipping of tables. Hello, Isabel, who's been putting the tables back. Hello, Jefferson. I was eating too, Jefferson. Oh, that sounds even better, though, what you had. Very nice. Yeah, I haven't had ribs for a while. A lot of the better rib places by me end up shutting down. Let's see. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Dotero. Hello, Tyranny. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm not connected to Global 1, am I? Hello, Haley. Hello, Sir Wolf. Hello, Defiance. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Keeps undoing me. Let's see. Let's go back to Global 1. Actually, I don't think we've been Global 1 all this week. Surprisingly. But we are now. So what did you get from Taco Bell? The 5-layer burritos, the taco fries are back, so I ended up getting some of those. Honestly, I'd probably just go there just for the taco fries when I'm in the mood for it. I tried that new thing that they have. I actually completely forget its name off the top of my head. But it's like a, I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's like a chicken burrito thing with like some of the, with like buffalo sauce and fry. It's like a really, really weird mix. It's actually pretty good though. I figured I'd try it. And, I believe that was it. I don't think I got anything else. I didn't end up finishing all of it. I feel like that ends up happening almost every time I go to Taco Bell. Ends up being 2 portions rather than 1. Just to not overeat. And you have honor. I'm really surprised you haven't gotten it maxed yet. Well, we can go give you an honor. There we go. You should be like right on top of it. Let's see, where's the thing? Yeah, you should be like any day now, having that maxed. What's your plans once you finally get it maxed? Ta! Yeah, it takes quite a while in the current state of the game. Because people give it out a lot less than when the feature first came into the game. How you dread the day Bill reaches max honor. It should be any day now. But how close he is, it should be like a week or less. Probably. So I got a backup water so I wouldn't need to get more water. I thought ahead this time. Because I know in these streams I tend to drink a lot of water, especially since I just finished eating. And I wasn't actually drinking anything during all of it. So now I am very thirsty. I could have taken green into yellow extra turn. If we surged that, that would have been quicker, but oh well. If we didn't surge, it would have been slower, so. What do you recommend for blue Guild War attack? Basing around the Zura is normally pretty nice. Megavore, even though it scores very weirdly, actually is a pretty good synergy troop for Blue Day. As far as what I currently run, I believe I run... Do I run Vespera? Pure Vespera is pretty good, with like double Winter Imp or something like that. I think I ended up switching off of Vespera recently though. But Vespera does work. It's one of the more recent blue teams that have been end up coming into the game as of recently for Blue Guild War Day. Yeah, I do actually still use Vespera. That's what I thought. Anu Scepter, Vespera, Double Winter Imp. Still feel like it might need some revamp, like maybe the hero. Just not too many good pure blue weapons. But blue can target itself now, so that's a nice benefit if we had to. We just don't really get any value from the purple and yellow that it creates. Unlike the purple team that can actually convert all the yellow to Doom Skulls. But it still ends up working out pretty nicely. And we'll be trying it again this Blue Guild War Day, of course. And we also have purple for purple. And actually, we're going to be running that later today as well, since it is Purple Day right now. As far as purple, we run same kind of premise as far as Vespera is concerned. We run Thrall into Shabanu Vespera, Doomed Scythe, and Skeleton. And just rolling with that. And it ends up working out pretty nicely since Thrall gives us the initial mana very quickly. Then we can start spamming Vespera, Doomscythe for the convert off all the yellow she creates, and then Skeleton for the automatic extra turn cleanup. It didn't do too hot, the Vespera team. It does get hard countered by freeze, but aside from that, it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see again this time. If it fails a lot this time, we might end up revamping for next time. Also, keep in mind, you are allowed to use dual-colored troops on your team, too. They don't necessarily all have to be a single pure color when building up a Vespera. I tend to run it that way just because I like the consistency of it, but especially if you're up against freeze, you don't necessarily have to go pure one of a single color. Or, you know, obviously you still need to be like pure blue for blue day or pure purple for purple day. But they can use multiple colors. They don't have to be the single color ones necessarily. Especially for purple day, because purple yellow gains quite a bit of a benefit from it too. Yeah, a lot of people run Frost Mage, which is one of the things that can bring it down. Frost Mage is pretty good against Vespera. That's because most Vespera teams do not have a proper cleanse option. One of the easiest things you could try doing, if you don't want to change your team, is triple Cedric as your tokens, and put 3 Cedrics on. So you have about a 26% or so chance to cleanse per turn to get all that stuff off. Let's see. Take that out. Did you go to Taco Bell by the Olive Garden? I don't know. Is there even a Olive Garden near that area? I'm not even sure. I don't even pay attention to Olive Gardens in my area because they are horrifically bad. I actually find it amazing how much better Olive Gardens are in New Jersey relative to where I live in South Carolina. Though that might be because there's a lot of good Italian food just in general in New Jersey. So does this do it better? But, yeah, Olive Gardens are like 100 times better compared to Olive Gardens. Like, Olive Gardens in New Jersey are like what the top-end Italian restaurants are in South Carolina. That's how big of a difference it feels like compared to how bad the Olive Gardens are here. Actually, I even got 2 free meals to it once because I left a bad review for one of the things. And they were like, hey, or I forget what the whole thing was. But essentially, by the end of it, they ended up giving me like 2 free meals, and I didn't end up even using it because it was that bad. Wouldn't even eat there for free. It was that bad. Do the 3 options to give honor give different amounts of honor? No. They all give the same amount of honor. However, it is possible to get less honor, which is one of the reasons why Bill hasn't maxed out yet. If you get honor from the same people in your guild, you get less. If you keep getting it from the same people, you get less. And I think there's a 3rd factor. There might be some invisible factors in there that we're not aware about. Like, for example, if you actually saw them in some amount of time in global chat or something, I'm not sure. But there's probably a few other factors. But the main 2 that we know is... Whoa, we just got a Volky. That is very lucky. But the main 2 that we know is people from your guild counts as less honor. And the same people constantly giving you honor gives you less honor. How the values exactly work, we don't really know. And now that Yang dropped out, who's my second choice? Tulsi Gabbard. My ranked choice from the beginning has been Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, and Bernie Sanders, personally. Though I'm almost considering to still just write in Andrew Yang, at least for the primary, obviously not for the general election. I'm considering it. Because he's probably going to run in 2024. And if nothing else, he might become a VP or something. Someone's vice president. And if he somehow becomes Bernie's vice president, I'd probably vote for Bernie. Because out of the slight possibility that Bernie would die in office due to age, then we'd have a Yang presidency already. So it would kind of work out. Let's see. We'll grab that for now. Let's see. Vault battles you can choose from 4 different difficulties. The same ones you choose before Explore Rework Is there any difference in reward? No. However, they are going to likely be adding later this year some kind of revamped system to vault keys that will add actual difficulties to them. However, we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. It's one of the reasons why I've been hoarding my vault keys for so long. But no, at this current moment in time, difficulty has no effect on vault keys. And I don't agree with every single one of Bernie's policies. Like, I don't believe we should have a blanket $15 minimum wage. I agree that we should have, like, an increased minimum wage, like, possibly even over $20 per hour for, like, extremely big corporations. But I believe the minimum wage in almost every instance, like 90% of instances, should be completely abolished. I also don't agree with a federal jobs guarantee. UBI would just be better in comparison. People make their own work rather than having to work for the government. Because I've been self-employed in like 4 or 5 different methods pretty much since I've been an adult. Like since like 18, 19. I've never had like a traditional job since I've been an adult. I had prior, like working at some restaurants and stuff, but since then I've never had a traditional job. And a federal jobs guarantee just discourages stuff like that. Yeah, the cost of living in my area is really, really cheap. It's one of the cheaper areas in the country. Not the absolute cheapest, but it's down there. Like the house I'm living in right now, I think was $80,000 total. Still not fully paid off yet, though. And it's 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Do we have any info on when the release next major patch? Well, they're starting the beta program back up, so as soon as they get people for the beta program, probably very soon, TM, I'd assume in a couple weeks. Probably like early mid-March, we'll see the beta. And then probably by late March, we'll probably have patch. Late March, early April. Probably before Easter. Like almost 100% before Easter. I believe last year, the patch was in mid-April. The next major patch. I'm not sure if there was another mini patch before then. But I know there was a patch in mid-April last year. Yeah, I was really surprised by some of the pricing in other locations of South Carolina. In Columbia, South Carolina, like the capital of the state, there were some like really, really nice like 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom houses and such, like on really weird hills. But aside from that caveat, they were under $100,000. Like they were outstanding homes. Let's see. Get that. You need to get an Airbnb property in Myrtle Beach. A lot of people do rent them out and stuff. It's a pretty heavy tourist area. And hotels aren't really that cheap around here because it's so heavy in tourism. However, the only problem with that is it's pretty dead for most of the year. It's only particularly busy during the summer. For the other, like, 9 months or so. Like, almost the entire economy of Myrtle Beach is based on every time from May until, like, early September. That is the entire economy of Myrtle Beach. And then it just dies because there's pretty much nothing here other than tourism, essentially. It's why a lot of businesses actually go out of business around here. Because they make pretty much all their money during the summer. And then the rest of the year, they're basically making nothing. And a lot of the contracts for rental stuff is by the year to force people to have to take it for the entire year. So, like, there'll be several months where they make almost nothing or at a negative. And then they only make money in the summer. And then they end up having to eventually close because it's not sustainable for most businesses. And the same thing basically happens with rental properties. Because my dad used to do it like about a decade ago. You can get a lot of it for the summer. Maybe occasionally run some the other holidays. But other than that, it's dead for more than half the year. And with the cost of having to actually pay off the house if it's not already, it's just not worth it. Even just the taxes on it might not even be worth it relative to how much you would make from it. And rent's not that much. If you tried getting rent in South Carolina, most areas you'd probably only be able to get $1,000 a month. I think in New Jersey, where my dad is currently doing it, you can get almost $2,000 a month for renting out places. And he has several rental properties there. That's actually why my mom ended up eventually buying. It was actually cheaper to buy than to rent. Like, as far as the monthly cost. Like, everything about it was better value. Because most of South Carolina is rental, or at least Myrtle Beach area, kind of assumes it's just temporary and not like an actual household. As far as how it's priced. At least for the most part. Will you show the best way to get the medal achievement? You keep spamming Explore 12 over and over and over and over again with whatever you can quickest kill it with. As far as what I'm aware of as the quickest method is the Scorpius team for Urskea. So you go to Urskea, go to Explore 12, and you bring with you this team. Where'd it go? I know I have it somewhere in this mess. Where is it? I know I have it here. There it is. Explore 12. It is Mountain Crusher, Scorpius, Leprechaun, and Oriali. This is the quickest way to farm tokens in the game. And you need to just do it specifically in Urskea, because Urskea is the last location that has no immune to poison, which is very beneficial for it. Oh, I'll grab that. Get a double kill. Grab that again, dead. And you just rinse and repeats, and you get a lot of tokens out of it, among other resources. It's actually pretty decent for gold, too. I believe it's about 400,000 gold per hour, depending on bonuses, give or take about 50,000. Yeah, pretty much as simple as that. One's about 30 seconds on average or so. And you just rinse and repeat. We're getting a lot of gnomes this weekend. It's not a gnome event, but we're sure getting quite a few. And we even got a Volkey, too. I kind of like spam clicked through it a little bit earlier, but we did a Volkey a couple minutes ago. Or several minutes ago at this point. And 5 gems, nice. Hello, Zex! Welcome! Alright, what else we need? Let's grab Brown. We don't have extra turn yet, do we? That's problematic, so we'll grab that. Get our Splodies. Get our double kill. Explode it all again, if it'll let me. And he's dead, if it'll let me cast. And then in 2 battles, we get the very nice chest. And the main reason you want to do Explore 12 is the difficulty does increase the rate at which you get better medals. And Explore 12 has the best chance for Nishas. It has the best chance for Anu. It basically has the best chance for everything. and it has the gives you the most amount of shards, so you keep getting the actual chest drops more often. Oh, how did that not give full mana? How did that not give full mana? Come on, get full mana already. There you go. And he should be dead, if it'll let me go. And that gives us the boss battle. And hopefully from this we'll get something juicy, like double Nisha. Hello, Sir Wolf! Also, hello, Mobarashi, if I didn't already say hi. Welcome, welcome. Do we have extra turn in all this mess? Yes, we do. I thought so. Just double checking. You have a decent amount of medals. You just need to see how to use them now. Well, I did a video on the top 4 for each one to end up doing. As far as how you disperse them, though, you tend to do commons with 1 common, 2 commons, then an ultra rare, or 1 common, ultra rare, ultra rare, and then you do just rares in the same way. 1 rare, 2 rares, then 1 ultra rare, or you do 1 rare, ultra rare, ultra rare. For ultra rares, you use 1 ultra rare, 2 ultra rare, 3 ultra rare. For epics, you do 1 epic, 2 epic, 3 epics, legends 1, 2, 3, and for mythics 1, 2, 3. But for those lower ones, you basically use the ultra rares of Zeddicus, just because they're so much more common than the other things. And I say that as we get 2 of one and 1 of the other, but Zeddicus are more common than Yasmin's, as well as the common one. But no good loot from that, unfortunately. What is our current stacks looking like? I think they're pretty small, as far as what we currently have left, because I keep using a lot of them almost immediately. But yeah, we're currently on 3 Nishas, 1 Anu, 7 Arachnia, 10 Cedric, 9 Yasmin, and 9 Guard. So we could try using some of this if we want to right now. I'm just not sure what I really need upgraded. I don't think we have anything we really need upgraded at the moment. Oh, I'm looking for base rarity. Where are you, base rarity? There we go. I don't know, what's under common and rare that we might want to go upgrade? Bone Wall, probably not. Throw we already got. I'm not sure we have anything that we immediately need upgraded. Also, we should be mindful that another bounty hunter troop's coming in the near future. We'll want to save some amount for that, of course, so that we have the tokens to go and upgrade it. I'm not sure we even have any commons left that really need an upgrade on them. I wish this thing would have been made viable. This was a pretty cool premise, but it was never viable because of how ridiculously high its mana cost is and the fact you can only use it once. I think we're almost out of good commons. Yeah, I've upgraded almost every bounty troop in the game. Or at least the more viable ones anyways. Fairy Rom's not really worth upgrading. All the benefit he gets actually does not increase his damage. I guess theoretically we could upgrade Toad. Main reason is Essence of Evil. So whenever someone uses an Essence of Evil, there's a 10% chance you get transformed into a Toad. And we actually had that happen the other day. And in those instances, we could give it an additional 4 attack and 2 of every other stat. Or sorry, 4 magic and 2 of every other stat. So I guess we'll go and upgrade him then. So there's 2 methods that we could do for this. We could use a common, 2 commons, and an ultra rare. Or we could use 1 common, 2 commons, and... Or sorry, 1 common, an ultra rare, and another ultra rare. You can also do rares for the exact same thing. However, rares are more common than the ultra rares, oddly enough. I think for this we'll go do a 1, 2, and then a 1. And just end up doing it that way. Oh no, should we do 1, 1, 1? No, we'll do it this way. And now we could either use a rare, or we can use an ultra rare to count as 3 of the tokens. And since we have so many more, I think we're just going to use an ultra rare for this. Just do it that way. And there we go. And in doing that, we have given it a total of 4 magic, 2 HP, 2 armor, and 2 attack. So if we ever get 10% transformed again off of the Giant Toad, or with the Essence of Evil, he will now have those benefits. So it's a little bit of a change. Obviously, that doesn't make too big a difference in those battles. However, it gains much more of a benefit than if we were just upgrade a random troop, which is why we went for it. Next, let's go for, I guess, rares. Also, Baby Dragon might be a nice one to do next. I don't think I'm going to do it right now. But he gains the 666 stats, if I'm not mistaken. The 6 attack, 6 armor, and 6 HP. So I might need to go upgrade it. It's kind of funny because the baby dragon egg is also 666, and then the baby dragon is 666. I don't think Dragon Soul has it though. I think he counts as the magic thing because he does full AoE. Pretty sure. Actually, let me double check while I'm here. Dragon Soul. Yeah, he's actually counts as support. Interesting. He just gains full durability. That's a weird one. Wouldn't think that would be support. Anyways, I'm gonna find a rare to go upgrade. And don't think I'm gonna do an ultra rare right now. But let's see, what do we have under rares? Probably a bounty hunter troop at this point. I don't think anything else came in recently that I would really want to upgrade. Valkyrie is probably not worth upgrading in the current state of the game, though she does gain durability. I don't think I'm going to need the gold counter that soon. Soothsayer, I don't feel like it's that meta anymore. Oh yeah, Savage Hunter gains so much value. And we got him maxed. Is there anything else really worth it? We got a good majority of the bounty troops upgraded, of course. None that's particularly good. Paladin. It actually counts as Striker, oddly enough, which I guess it makes sense as really high single target. Moneylender, if we were ever use a team, I guess would be okay to upgrade. Miss Stalker's not really that good this late in the game. However, it is a decent troop overall. Greed, we already upgraded. Hierophant can be summoned on some things. However, I don't think it's really that worth to upgrade since it's just pure durability. It's kind of like support, except it gains more HP than armor, where support gains more armor than HP. Another bounty troop that's upgraded. Yeah, we've got a good majority of the good ones in. Another bounty troop. Dragatar, I don't feel like I'd really go out of my way to use this late in the game, even though it does have its situations where it's useful. Cockatrice we already did, which is the most useful thing there. Another bounty troop. Were you a bounty troop too? Yeah. Gosh, so many bounty troops. I think we almost upgraded every bounty troop. At least the more relevant ones. If we don't see anything else in the rare, I guess we could go just upgrade another bounty. And save the rest of our tokens for another bounty. But yeah, we're in ultra rares now. So other than maybe like a Valkyrie or Alchemist or something, I don't think we really need much else to get upgraded here. Yeah, let me see what else is under bounty. I think I upgraded most of the important ones. But let's see, what bounties have we not done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of these, I guess maybe Sister Superior. Don't you gain a bunch of HP? She gains a bunch of magic, though. I forgot. That one's pretty bad. That's not the one I thought it was. But, yeah, she gains a lot of magic that does nothing, which is my biggest concern with ever upgrading her. However, it's better to have that little bit of benefit than no benefit at all. And if we're going to occasionally use her, I think she's the most viable thing we have not actually maxed yet. That we still haven't maxed. So I guess we'll go upgrade her. The magic goes completely unused. However, the rest of her attributes aren't too bad. So we'll do the same method. 1, 2, 1. So we'll do 1 rare. However, we can also do 1 rare, 1 Cedric, and 1 Cedric. Like right now, that counts as 2 of them. However, we will just go do 2 of them. And then we'll do 1 Cedric. And then we'll have another trip maxed. There we go. There you go. And that's that. I think that's all the upgrading we'll do for now. Because, of course, we have to keep at least 3 spears of everything. So we still have enough to upgrade almost 1 ultra rare. I might actually need 1 more Cedric before we can. And if I don't end up doing 1 ultra rare, I can still go and easily do 1 common and 1 rare. Which is probably what we'll end up ultimately doing. Because we'll need to upgrade the next bounty troop off of that. And we might need to upgrade something during the next faction too. So we might want to hold until then. Next week's Friday is a new faction, if I'm not mistaken. So we do want to hold out some of our resources for when that ends up happening. Also, hello, Ward Crafter. Welcome. Let's see. If you disenchant all your extra troops, how many souls would I get? About 4.3 million. Not an absurdly high amount, but still pretty high, obviously. Those deviled eggs. I know those deviled eggs are really tasty. Do you still think it's the best idea to turn all writs into deeds of magic? Yes. That is still the case. And it will be until you own every single magic kingdom to max. And there's 4 of them. Those 4 are Darkstone, Silverglade, Karkaroth, and Blighted Lands. Those 4 kingdoms are all magic kingdoms that use purple. There's also a magic kingdom that uses green, which would be your main priority for green, which is Elcarry. But those should be your main priorities, particularly the purple end, or pretty much all in the purple end because you need so many of them. And until you have all those 4 kingdoms maxed, the 4 that I just mentioned other than Elcarry, Blighted Lands, Karkaroth, Silverglade, and Darkstone. Once you have those 4 maxed, you could pretty much just use your writs for whatever you feel like it. But those are the main priority you want to definitely go for first. Speaking of that, thanks for reminding me. Do I actually have enough to max out a Magic Kingdom? I don't think I do. I believe we need one more Magic event to come around. As far as deeds before we'll have enough. Otherwise, it's going to take us several more weeks. Also, why am I running... I'm running the Explore 12 team on Explore 3. I was wondering why the team felt so weird. That's not the right team. That's also not the right team. That's the right team. Oh, you're limited by Imperials. Yeah, we did get another Imperial today at least. You can craft Imperials from the Soul Forge. They are pretty pricey though. It takes almost a month just to craft the Imperial. Actually, a little bit more than a month. But yeah, it takes a while to craft one guarantee Imperial. Do you have Quentin Hadley farm team? What do you mean by farm team? He doesn't gain extra gold this week. It's that useless troop that gains the extra gold, which isn't worth using. Aside from that, he's mostly only used really for, I'd say, Guild Wars. And you wouldn't really farm PvP with it because Explorer can farm quicker. He's mostly just a PvP or Guild War option that you run. And PvP more so for fun and in Guild Wars in order to win on specific days. No, I don't think there's any fast Explorer team that uses him. Mostly because there's not a particularly good full AoE Knight for the mana costs. Actually, I guess that's not 100% true. Technically, Guard's Avatar could. However, when you have the option of Rowan actually distributes her damage better than how Guard's Avatar does. Because Guard's Avatar will hit the same thing, will hit everything for the same amount of damage regardless. Whereas Rowan will concentrate the damage with how she spreads it. So if something's only going to take 10 damage, instead of doing like a 50 AoE to it, she'll end up using the extra 40 on the rest of them. Which allows her to always get pretty much a 4 clean swipe. Whereas Guard's Avatar can sometimes miss one. But yeah, I believe that would be the most viable thing if you were to try to run it. Would be some kind of Guard's Avatar team into an instant kill. Either with no buff or with a single armor buff, depending on what difficulty you're running at. I don't think you could get away that easily with Explore 12 of them, but I guess you could try doing it. And just try using like Arskea Shield or something to buff it. Has a bit of mana conflict, but it'd probably still work. Kind of use it like you would use the Rowan High Explorer team. Where you just keep buffing with Arskea Shield until you get the one shot wipe. His follow-up hit is way slower than Rowan's though. Because while his first cast will be 12 mana cost because of the half mana start, his second cast will require 24. Which is extremely slow compared to Rowan. Because Rowan has a 6 and a 12 if you somehow need a second one. However, you can easily just do it in a way that you wouldn't ever need a second cast, of course. At least for the lower rarity ones anyways. I mean, lower difficulty, not lower rarity. Yeah, the event troop I believe is 5 glory per thing. However, Quentin isn't the one that's the glory troop. It's the it's that useless ultra rare thing that they end up adding. If it was Quentin, we'd probably be messing with Quentin a lot more this week. But it's the useless night buff troop. That type of troop that every single one of them is useless of. That's similar to that type. Where all they do is just waste their turn for a small buff. Oh yeah, I never did cover a video on it. I really need to very, very soon. I keep saying that, and it's already Saturday now. But we will get around to it before the end of the week. Mark my words. But, yeah, we did make one really good team that has functioned pretty nicely. I have tested a few others, but I haven't cared for any of them as much as this one. But I'll go show it real quick. We will be covering it and probably a few others in a video very soon. But, where'd it go? Let's go to PvP. Yeah, it's this one right over here. I believe it's all the way at top, actually. Was it Sir Beast or Sir Knight? It was... No, Sir Knight was fun. It wasn't the good one, though. This was the good one. Beastly Bow, Forest Guardian, Sir Quentin, and Fist of Zorn. This is an interesting combo, as you're about to see. So we'll go for this. Ideally, we'll have alignment for this convert right now, which I don't think we do. Yes, we do, because brown to green, right? Yes, so we'll go for that. Now he... Oh, no, we don't have enough mana for you. Where's all your yellow? Take that. Unfortunately, it didn't cascade the mana we wanted. What's the easiest way to get around there? We'll take that. Grab all that. Oh, no, you just blocked the mana. You blocked my yellow. How could you do such a thing? Do I have a drop for that? Yes, we do have a drop for that. Oh, nope, it didn't drop correctly. Never mind. That slightly failed then. We'll grab that. No, I didn't get all the manas I needed. Oh, well, we'll just have to convert it then. We'll take that. Take that. Do we have follow-up here? I wish. We'll take that for now. Okay, now we get you. A little late, though. What do we need here? Do we have alignment? I don't think we have alignment for anything. What's your other convert again? Purple to yellow. Oh, we do. Nice. So we'll do that. Do that. And it should be dead. Very dead. But yeah, it's a nice little skull spam kind of composition. Similar to many other double skull spam teams. Except this one is just a bit of a different composition. It's Beastly Bow with the Warden Hero class, oddly enough, just because you can get half mana start on it. And synergize with the whole Beastly Bow thing, which helps give you 2 mana you really need, green and yellow. And it has Forest Guardian, which is a good convert for the team. It has Sir Quentin, which ends up using most of that convert. And we have the Skull Spam just for the backup for our yellow convert, just in case he doesn't get mana, as well as an attack buff to first slot, just to have a little bit more attack value. But it works out quite nicely. Do we have alignment here? No, I think we just go for Skull then. Two different ways we could take the Skull Poke. I'm actually going to take it for less damage so we can get Beastly Bow to full. And just poke him with a Beastly Bow. Get our mana there, and hopefully we'll have follow-up next turn and not be frozen. Well, we got an extra turn there. So I guess we're just going to have to Skull Spam him. We will lose our turn because we're frozen, though. What's our follow-up? We have a Skull Poke over there, single Skull Poke. I guess we go for it just to try to set up the board for the following turn. So we did that. That gives us Beastly Bow as well. I don't believe we have alignment for much, and we're also frozen on those blues, so we're just going to poke him with a bow. And hopefully we have a kill right here. We surprisingly do not. We have extra turn green, though, so we'll grab that. Nay's dead. Yeah, this is currently my favorite Quentin team out of anything in the entire game. And it's pretty viable. You can't run it for Guild Wars, though. But it's a pretty viable PvP team, as far as PvP teams are concerned. Let's see. I'll take that for now. Not the absolute greatest, though, but it works. It definitely works. It's definitely a fun team as well. And it doesn't use any mythics. It's all legends and below. Actually, it's all legends. Literally all 4 of them. Oh, never mind. Euro epic. But it's 3 legends and a... yeah, 3 legends and an epic. That's what it comes down to. The skull or not the skull? I think I actually let him have it, because he has infinite loop once he gets going. And I don't have freeze. I should have grabbed a freeze, but oh well. We'll do that. I was going to say, hopefully we'll get full mana on him, because we kind of need it to keep our damage going. Do a follow-up. Yeah, we'll go for that. Ideally, that will give us an alignment, which it actually does. Okay, so we'll go for that. I was going to say it does not, but yep, we got it all. And one nice thing about Warden as well is it does have Hunter's Mark. So we get to keep spamming Hunter's Mark as well for 2x skull damage. But yeah, it's a nice little skull spam team. Pretty similar to how most other double skull spam teams work. But overall, pretty great composition. And it actually uses Warden hero class, which again, is a hero class that generally isn't considered that good because its traits are pretty abysmal. However, its trees are okay and it has some synergies. And the fact that it counts as Beast and is the only Beast-related hero class ends up working out quite well for that instance. But anyways, let's go back to the Barbarian grind. Where's our Barbarian? Barbarian! Where are you? There you are. But I have a lot of fun with that team. I don't feel like I would use it much, though. Just because it does seem... It's not the quickest of option, mostly because you have to... That's the problem that most double converts have. You have to constantly keep looking for alignment. That's definitely fun. And I do advise, if you haven't already gotten it, to get a Quentin by the end this week. He's a good utility troop to have. It's one of the better troops we've gotten in pretty much all year, now that I think of it. He might actually be the... I would need to go double check every single thing that came in so far this year, but if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm completely missing over something, he's probably the best troop that's came out this year. With the second best probably being the turtle that actually came out for Bounty Hunter, oddly enough. But then again, Vespera came out this year. Never mind. Vespera probably takes one. I forgot. Vespera was this year, right? No. Vespera was last year. Vespera was the last mythic of last year. She wasn't this year. This year was Mother of Darkness, and then, Wait, what was last month? Was it Vespera? Now I'm completely forgetting. Obviously, the most recent one was Mother of Darkness. Was Vespera... I'm pretty sure Vespera was December. What was last month, then? Was it completely useless? Dead content? Pretty sure it was. Trying to think. Let's see. Let's bring up every mythic. Oh, yeah, Umanif. Oh, yeah, I completely skipped over Umanif. Umanif, I think one of the reasons I keep overlooking Umanif is it functions very similar to a web spinner. Its ability is quite a bit different. Its ability is basically Zugoff, just a cheaper version of Zugoff. But its functionality of its traits feels a lot like web spinner, which is probably why I keep forgetting about it. But yeah, Umanif was the first mythic of this year. It has potential. I don't use it too often, though. It's a really high risk, high reward kind of troop. Well, I guess it's not super high risk, but it's used in those kind of teams. Yeah, it's pretty much a Zol spinner. It's essentially a mix of Zugoff and web spinner, which sounds like that would be very strong, and is decently strong. I just don't feel like it gets used for much. Its biggest liability is it's really bad against status effects, like Entangle, Web, and stuff like that. Will of Nisha is coming after 19 days. Will of Nisha in the current state of the game looks pretty bad. It looks like it was almost going to be a Yagwe, a mythic Yagwe, which would have been amazing. But they didn't add any kind of board control to it. And because they didn't add any kind of board control, it's going to be useless. Even just something as simple as convert all yellow to purple or something. Kind of like what Yagwe does, but different. Would have been enough to make it viable. But it doesn't. Yeah, Forest Troll is a really great option. It has a decent amount of skull reduction. It has Entangle every skull. And it has double green. And double green has a lot of synergy in the game. Out of every troll in the game, it's the most relevant troll. By far. It's not even close. I'm pretty sure Forest Troll is used more than every other troll combined. Just because of how viable it is. We're getting another troll next kingdom as well. Or next faction, I mean. It's not going to be that useful, though. But I believe it synergizes with the first Double Storm. we're going to be getting the first double storm in next Friday. So that was a mechanic that was actually added in the most recent patch. However, we have yet to see a single troop that has the capability to do it until Friday. Next Friday, we'll bring in 6 days, the first troop of the double storm. I believe it's blue-purple. However, we haven't gotten a definitive mention on what it is. We'll probably know on Monday, 100%, what the storm color is. But, yeah, it's going to be the first dual storm. I believe it's blue-purple, if I had to guess what color it is. But we haven't gotten confirmation that it is blue-purple. It's going to be a really annoying pure faction. Mostly because all the troops are pretty clunky. And the enemy can get very lucky out of nowhere. Which is a really bad combo. The player can also get pretty lucky out of nowhere. However, it's more annoying when the enemy can also do it. Because you can't really predict it out or counter it. It just kind of happens. Because assuming everything aligns perfectly, it should have a dual storm with a double both the colors of the dual storm as a cast. Which if it ever gets that triggered, will basically just full mana the entire team into a loop. It won't necessarily be like a loop as an infinite loop, but you know, it'll be a loop as in everything will get full mana and then keep casting. How's the layout? I don't think we know the layout until Monday. Unless the spoiler thread ended up mentioning it. But we'll find out Monday. And then definitively Friday. Because Salty always streams the community manager of the game. Streams the developer build of the game. Normally the Monday beforehand. Showing the Friday content. So we'll know a bit more about it then. Which is just a few days from now. And then next Friday we'll have it. I never did double check the forum this morning. I wonder if they finally posted a thing for the beta. Because I know some people were asking me about it. On applying for the new beta test. Wait, someone got an 8.8 Guild Wars? Wait, 8.8. Never mind, that's not high. Can it go to 9.8? I'm confused. 8.8 isn't high, right? It would be 9.8 that would be high. Oh, never mind. He was just saying... Okay, I completely misread the title. I saw Perfect Guild War in the title, so I thought it was like a 9.8 just by automatically. But I think he meant he just went deathless. But he might have done some things in the battle that made his score go lower. Like the team he was using or anything else. He was asking why it was lower. Yeah, Guild Wars get scored really weirdly. They said that they were going to change the scoring eventually. To be easier to understand. They have yet to do that. Let's see. The new beta program I still don't believe has posted a form to apply. Because I want to mention the link once they do. I want to mention it on a Monday video too. Hopefully they'll have it up soon so I can actually mention it on video. Because it probably won't make it on a Monday video. Then again, I might just make its own video for anyone. Because I know quite a few people have been asking about it. If they could be beta testers. Not sure how many they're actually going to be taking though. I'm already guaranteeing though, so that's nice. So I don't need to worry about it. But I believe me and Keylime are actually the only two that got guarantee in. What do we take here? Grab our splooties. Also, if you know multiple languages, you'll probably also get guarantee in at a pretty high rate. Because they desperately need people that know more than just English while also knowing English. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Thank you, Isabel. Let's see, we'll get that down. Get our splitty splits, and he's dead. If you're up against your guild tomorrow, might face Umanif in your defend. Oh no. Umanif is somewhat easy to deal with on defend. I say that, but I could easily get destroyed. It depends if they're running Cedrics or not. Because the strategy you go about facing it is completely different if they're running Cedrics or not running, or if they are or not running Cedrics. Because if they're running Cedrics, they have lower stats. But if they're not running Cedrics, you could just status effect disable it. But in having lower stats, you could just rush it down instead. So either way, you have a way to kill it. It's just a different strategy depending on which metals they run. Hey, who are we up against today? I keep forgetting. You can only ever see the day of, because they made it so people couldn't cheat as much. But, yeah, who are we up against today? I'd even double check. Grab our tribute. Perfect timing as well. We're already on the menu. Claim our 14 gems. And so far we won every day except for Tuesday. Or sorry, Wednesday. Against Almost Epic. Oh, that was the day I went 4-1 as well. Actually, there's 2 days I went 4-1. But, Almost Epic's right there. This leaderboard's still somewhat hard to tell just because obviously all the battles aren't in yet. I think we only have like, yeah, about half or so. A little more than half. But, let's see. How far behind are we? We are not that far behind. Actually, assuming every single one is 9,000. If we did 3 more people, that's about 27,000. And that brings us... Oh, we actually are behind then. We're about 9,000 behind? It's 10,000 behind right now. Against Druid's Veil. Which is surprising, because they're not actually above us. So we might actually end up finishing out mid-range then. So we get some really big scores in for the rest of them, and they get some low scores. How's our defend team doing? Only 1 win so far, surprisingly. Our best day so far is Binyagwe Queen of Tanya. And our second best, oddly enough, was the one I accidentally set. It was the Mountain Crusher High King, Iron Gut, Zugoff, and Possessed King. After that one battle we did, I almost want to make a really trolly rush Iron Gut team. Someone tried running Iron Gut with what's it called? With, the one that converts all green to brown. Why can I not remember his name? That one dwarf that does that. And they basically ran that one rush team to try to get Iron Gut up immediately, and he was successful. And he got a Devourer on us off of basically turn 1, or the enemies at turn 1. We still won the battle, but we came really close to almost losing it. Just because of the instant Devour that they did. It's an interesting premise. Gimlet? Yes, Gimlet. That's the guy. Yeah, we're up against Druid's Veil today. We have no clue who we're up against for the other day. However, it's like a 50% chance it could be anyone else here. Whatever 4 we haven't gotten. So there's like a 1 in 4 chance, 25% each. They would end up getting the other ones. Well, let's have to wait and see. Anyways, let's keep getting Barbarian class leveled. Currently at 61. Probably hand out a code once we get closer to probably 63 for this stream. Keep going over side stuff that we haven't actually gotten it leveled yet. We only gained 1 level all this stream. Probably like 1.5. You could fix their dreadful German translations when in the beta? Yes. You would be able to. So Exos, you should definitely apply. You'd be able to help fix the game for every German player. But I've heard most of the translations for this game are pretty bad. And any of the slight mistakes that are in the English version easily get caught. Just because almost everyone testing is obviously speaking English. But even the English has mistakes sometimes. Almost every beta has had at least one mistake in the English language. So I could only imagine how bad the other versions are. Had too many puns to start with, they translate badly into other languages. Yeah, that's kind of a language thing that will, I'm not sure how they would actually fix. Because I don't think they would just put completely different text there that isn't the same as the other one. But then it also wouldn't make sense in a different language, depending on the syntax of what the words mean. A easy fix, don't have puns. But it's been a part of the game forever. There's over like 800, 900 puns in the game. With those little texts, those flavor texts. Every single troop in the game has one. It's been a staple of the game since day one. But if you count just all the flavor text in the game, I believe there's around, I want to say 8,000 words of just flavor text. That's a lot of flavor text. Because every single card probably averages around 10 words. That's what I'm basing that off of. Because there's, how many cards currently in the game? Oh, we're almost at 800, wow. 3 more to go. So by next faction will make it so we have over 800 troops in the game. That number is starting to get really big. I wonder what they'll do once they finally get the 1,000th troop in the game. That is a lot of troops. So it's going to be more than Pokemon. Because next gen for Pokemon isn't coming anytime soon. And they might still add a few more between then. But, yeah, that's how we know they're starting to get too many. If they can eventually pass Pokemon in total number. Actually, what is the total for right now as of Gen 8? I should forget. So there might be some things coming soon that might end up increasing it slightly. But, total number of oh yeah, Pokemon Home came out recently too. Seems more like a cash grab though. I haven't really been messing much with anything Pokemon related either lately. It's 807. Wait, only 807? That means... Does that count Gen 8? Wait, why does that not count, including Gen 8? Including Sword and Shield, there we go. Okay, now it's over 1,000, that's what I thought. He has 807 not counting, Sword and Shield. Which I'm not sure why you would not count it. The 1,000th troop will be the most garbage troop ever. It'll be the Magikarp of Gems of War. I don't know. I would say that's probably Peasant. Peasant isn't the worst troop in the game, but I'd probably say it's the Magikarp of Gems of War. That or something like Firebomb. that people just use it almost as a meme. What do we even grab here? We'll take that for now. Oh yeah, how has anyone been playing that one Pokemon spin-off game? I've heard it's pretty good. I haven't bothered trying it though. The Tim or Tum Tum or whatever it was called. The double T thing. Forget its name. Firebomb is clearly Voltorb. True. Splody. Its explosion is so unintimidating compared to that though. So hello Osman, welcome. What's the one troop I'm missing? It's the one gnome troop, the most recent gnome that was added into the game of Mecha Gnome. And the reason I'm missing that is I haven't opened any vault keys since then. Also, we got a vault key to stream earlier to stream. Got pretty lucky on that. So technically we're up to 1 per hour to stream. Ha! Highly doubt we're gonna get another one though. We've gotten like 2 or 3 vault keys since the last vault event off of a vault event. Excuse me, which is pretty lucky. But yeah, I just don't have it because I've been hoarding vault keys. I think we're almost at 150 or so. Somewhere around there. And we'll dump them as soon as we know what on earth they're doing with vault keys. Either we'll use them beforehand or we'll use them after. Once we definitively know what revamp they're going to do to vault keys. Which is probably happening sometime this year. If they're still going to do it. How many we're at right now? We are at, yeah, 141. 9 more and we'll have 150. We're getting there. Yeah, I ended up finishing out Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the DLCs and everything, though. I'm personally not a fan of the direction that Pokemon's actually heading in. I mostly got it for the nostalgia and everything. And I might even still get Mystery Dungeon, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's coming out this March. Though I'm probably going to be busy with Animal Crossing as well during that time. But I might end up picking up Mystery Dungeon, just because I've heard a lot of really good things about it. The original. And the remakes actually looks pretty cool, as far as how they graphically overhauled it. But now as far as the base game, I finished out Pokédex. I tried doing some shiny hunting, which is ultra repetitive, gosh. And, yeah, I did most of the endgame content. And, you know, some of the actual battling against people. But, I don't know, it seemed to lack endgame content. And the storyline gets really weird towards the end. Though I feel like the best thing that this most recent Pokemon game did do is the way that they set up gyms. Particularly towards the end. Like, the way that gym battles feel in Sword and Shield is probably the best gym experience they have ever done in any Pokemon game. Like, if they had something like that every single week as, like, a live service thing where they did it up like that, that would actually be an amazing game just on itself. But, I don't know, that was, like, the most redeeming quality of the game. And the raid battles, but they get a little bit tiring after a while. But the lore-wise, the end of the game is just horrifically bad. But it is the best gym experience that they've ever done in a Pokemon game. Or at least I personally love the way they set it up. Is Animal Crossing a multiplayer game as well? Kind of. I'm not sure to what degree. I know you can visit other people's islands and interact. To what capacity, I'm not 100% certain. We'll just kind of have to see and go from there. But yes, I believe Like if we were streaming it, I'd just be able to go to any of your guys' islands. I think you would just give me some kind of code thing, or we'd have to add each other, and then we could go to each other's islands. But I have a lot of nostalgia for Animal Crossing. I've actually never played any Animal Crossing except for the original, the one on GameCube. And that launched in like what, 2002, I think? So it has been a very, very long time since I played Animal Crossing. I think the last time I might have played it was like 2006 or 2007. Because I never played New Leaf or any of the newer ones. But I remember the original was a lot of fun. It's kind of jarring when you keep seeing the controller buttons pop up on screen. How else are we supposed to go so quick, though? Also, where are they even popping up on? I don't see, oh, okay, I see. They pop up, like, right there and there. Like, on the edges for the quick cast for the thing. They only appear for, like, half a second. How else are we supposed to quick cast? I don't even normally notice them. Until you pointed that out, I never even noticed they appear. Yeah, it like appears right there and there whenever we do it. We can kind of see it by holding the button. Yeah, they appear there. They appear there. And there's one right there. I never even noticed that. I don't think there's any way I could disable that though, while still using controller. If there was a way to do it without controller, I would. But there really isn't without the game considering it cheating. It says multiplayer's Dark Souls. Bring out the macros and get banned. No. I still don't understand their logic though. They said that they would never add, or they said they would add keyboard shortcuts, and then they didn't, saying that they wouldn't want to do it due to hackers being able to use it. Yet you can do the exact same thing with controller. So I don't understand that logic there. Oh, 1,000 glory. Gosh, we've been doing really good on gnomes this past week. Very, very lucky. Did we ever get another level? I said at 63 we'd hand out code. Yep, we're at 62. We're getting there. Slowly. Progressing to the milestone. Okay, let's grab that for now. Grab our reds. Probably aim for 65 or so this stream, I think. Technically, you could emulate or automate controller inputs, right? Yes, but I'm not sure what their bot would automatically consider as cheating. Because they have a lot of anti-cheat in this game. Supposedly. I'm not sure what it would pick up on. But it doesn't pick up on controller. Because the page for the game even says it has controller support. Or at least partial controller support. They technically actually don't support controllers. However, anything that Steam naturally has as a capability, it pretty much supports. Some things are still broken on it. Wish they would try fixing at least some of them, though. Yeah, statistically, most people watch us AFK. Or at least not typing anything. Because we always average like 3 times the amount of viewers relative to how many people are actually talking. So we got a lot of lurkers. Hello, everyone in the shadows. Welcome. But most people probably watch it in the background of other things. Is there a troop that converts blue or yellow to skulls that fits in a divine team? Yellow, you could use it. It's not necessarily a divine-oriented troop, but Fist of Zorn, not Fist of Zorn. What's that one summon that Fist of Zorn has? Or is it just called Fist of Zorn? Never mind. It is Fist of Zorn, isn't it? That one red-purple that converts immediately into skulls. You see me using it with this other team as well. Yeah, Fist of Zorn. That's what I thought. This works pretty good with it. It's not actually considered a divine. However, it fills that gap because it has attack gain. And it can immediately do alpha empowered, which ends up giving it a lot of viability. As far as blue, there should be one that already converts it, if I'm not mistaken. The only two divine skull spammers, though, are pretty much Divinish Ball Aquilin. Is the only slight problem. I believe every single other double skull spammer is not considered divine. So it really depends what you consider a divine team. Because most of the synergy troops that would have those converts aren't actually divine troops like this one. So I'm not sure if you're going for like pure divine or what you're aiming for. Normally in divine teams, instead of trying to convert away the yellow, what you actually do is you have so many troops that use yellow that you just utilize it for your mana gain and just let it get extremely populated on the board. Because when you take all the extra turn skulls, you're using the yellow to regain your mana. You don't normally go and convert it to skulls on a pure divine team. Just because most divine teams use yellow as their primary mana accumulation method. And as Laura mentions, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot. It's greatly appreciated. Fizz Gamer Dragon. The light that burns. I've called all of you out. No, just kidding. But welcome. Let's see. We'll take that over. Grab our splitty splits. Well, so we should only need about 30 or so more XP for this class, I believe. Then we'll hand out code. Yep, about that many. 43. Then we'll have a level. He's got a Skull Spam team that uses Divine Protector, Quillin, Divine Ishbala, and currently your 4th slot is Infernus. Oh yeah, you would definitely want to replace that Infernus then. What are you trying to use it for? Just PvP? But yeah, Fist of Zorn. You could try with Fist of Zorn if you're just doing it as a PvP option then. I assume it's not for Guild Wars because that's not pure color in any way. I just love Fist of Zorn as an option for that, just because of how much value you can end up getting. Empower instant skull spam plus has attack gain. So all your skulls do even more damage. Yeah, normally Divinish Ball Aquilin team does run with Moon Rabbit. More often than not. Diviner I stopped using pretty soon after she came out. She is pretty viable. However, I don't know, I never really cared for her playstyle. Or it's not that I didn't care for the playstyle. I don't know, it's just weird because she constantly keeps lowering her own HP with all the looping that you do. However, she gains so much magic value from that whenever she does land it. I think my main concern with her always is she has 3 different abilities and it's completely random which one she does. And that's probably the biggest factor that makes me hesitant on ever using her. Is the inconsistency of her abilities. It allows her to cover a wide range, which is really nice. But, I don't know, it just always felt kind of clunky to me. She is a great troop. Because she covers a lot of stats effects. If you get a loop, you can actually get all 3 of the benefits. She's just slightly luck-based when you're in bad situations. Like when you desperately need a cleanse and she doesn't hit cleanse. There's all those times I remember, which is why I don't use her. Every single time I needed her to cleanse and she didn't cleanse. Or every time I needed a magic buff and she didn't magic buff. When she works good, she works really, really good. But I haven't used her for a very long time at this point. Actually, it's been so long, I haven't really used her since Delves came out for the most part. Which was like a 1.5 years ago. That's how long it's been since I've really bothered using Diviner much. Yeah, she can get a lot of magic out of nowhere when she does land it. Especially after already hitting a lot of extra turns. Because she increases her own magic as she gains a lot of extra turns. And then that new magic becomes magic to all your allies. I used to run Essence of Evil, Ishbala, Diviner, and Divinia. Yeah, it's similar to a team I used to actually run. Well, not exactly. I used to run, oh gosh, what was the team? Was it Gargotha based? I used to run a weird Divinia team with it. I forget what the main damage source was. I think it might have been an Furnace. It was like the old Divine meta of like Divine Protector, Diviner, and Furnace, and like Divine Ishbala, I think, or something like that. Was what I used to run with it like a 1.5 years ago or something. That was back when Diviner was like meta. She still had 50% mana gain at the time. There's something along the lines of that. Yeah, Divine Protector and Furnace teams were with Divine Ishbala were really popular when you used to have 50% mana start. Then it kind of died once everything on the team got nerfed, plus Ubistet, plus the 40% rather than 50% on Divine Ishbala. Divine Ishbala also lost her cleanse, so you used to have cleanse on her cast, which made her really viable because you didn't need to worry about Entangle or anything. But then it got removed. Yeah, quite a few Delve troops end up outshadowing them too. Particularly the 50% mana star off the elementals. I'm actually still really surprised that that's still allowed to have 50%. That 50% is stronger than Divine 50% ever was. Yeah, Divine 50% they nerfed. And then they never bothered nerfing Elemental one. I hope they never do end up nerfing it. I'd rather them just revert Divine back to normal. So what on earth is Controller doing right now? There we go. It's like spazzing out, so. Let me actually restart the game real quick. It's starting to lag a lot. A lot. Gigantic lag spikes. Let's see. Where's the relaunch button? Where are you, Gems of War? Grab that. Gems of War. Put that in the corner. There we go. Less nerf, more buff. Go buff that Divine Ishbala. But yeah, don't forget to go get the last year's pet too. Still have 12 hours for it. Still got plenty of time. And don't forget your 2 precious Vault keys. Everything on Adventure Board is pretty much good, except for the jewels. But the other 2 are really, really nice. Divinia still cleanses. I was talking about Divine Ishbala. Did I accidentally say Divinia? I meant to say Divine Ishbala. But yeah, Divinia has always had cleanse and still has cleanse. Divinia has never been touched. Her ability is still the same for when she was launched. The only difference is she has more random stats effects now. Because obviously more has been added to the game, like Reflect since then. Yeah, Divinia and Divine are both cleansed. Divinia has a 100% chance. Diviner has it on a 1/3 chance, 33%. Can you briefly explain how to get level 10 character every time in Delves? Is there a certain path to take? What do you mean by level 10 character? Oh, level 10 chest? There's no way to manipulate it. I'm not aware of a way that you can manipulate it. There shouldn't be any way where you can manipulate it to get a guaranteed level 10 chest. And if there is, I'm not aware of the method. But there shouldn't be. The way that the percents work for those, there shouldn't be any way to really cheat it. But if anyone does know a method, I would love to know. But I don't believe that's manipulatable in any way. Because the multipliers do not affect the chest drop rate. They affect the amount of loot, but they don't affect like the chance that you would end up getting the chests themselves. Yeah, it's random. It's completely random on if you get a level 10 chest or not. It basically just rolls the percent chance per room, and then that just gives you a total by the end of it. The only way to make it go higher is just by doing every room. However, doing every room, there's no like specific order or anything that you would do that would change it. You can do it in multiplier order in a way that would increase your overall loot. However, there's no way to manipulate the end multiplier, nor is there any way to manipulate the end chest drops as far as what level chest you would end up having. Both of those are pretty much already predetermined. The multiplier you would already know just by looking at the delve. Percentage is completely random. I don't believe any known way to manipulate them. But the only slight thing you could do to manipulate a delve is multiplier order. And the reason for this is the loot that you get per room is affected by current multiplier. So if you take all the higher multipliers first and then take all the treasure rooms last, you'll end up getting slightly more loot that way. But that's the only thing you can really do to change anything. But that has no effect on the end result of the final chest. Whew. But if anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. We'll make sure to get around to them. Also, I almost feel like I need to take a nap. The struggle. Whenever if I don't eat before stream, I feel hungry. And if I do eat before stream, I feel tired from eating. Go figure. I just can't win. I don't know, eating food almost always makes me tired. It's kind of weird. That's why I normally only eat like 1 meal a day. First world problems, I know, right? All this food is making me drowsy. Struggle of having access to too much food. From which stove is the Mirage Queen? It's from Sunken Fleets. I believe it's in bottom right. All the way in bottom right. This is why I grabbed the second order. I knew I need backup order. Thought ahead for once. Found a good brown team. Mountain Crusher, Wild Queen, High King Iron Gut, and Obsidious. Yep, it would work out pretty well. I ran similar without the Wild Queen part in it before. For Brown Guild War Day. I forgot what the other option was that I ran with it. I think it might have been a Corvash? I'm not sure. But it wasn't Wild Queen. But I ran 3 of those before for Brown Guild War. Never tried it with Wild Queen. Wait, did we already do Brown Day this week? Because I believe we have Purple today and Blue tomorrow. Unless you're on a different platform. Let's see. But yeah, the team sounds pretty solid. Although I almost feel like you would put High King Iron Gut in front of your Wild Queen, though. And the main reason for that is your High King Iron Gut will have a higher attack and a higher overall durability than the Wild Queen will. Also, Wild Queen can feed itself with its own mana, because since it's the only green on your team, the green will go directly into it, regardless of what position it's in. Whereas High King Iron Gut's going to be blocked on brown pretty heavily. If it's only blocked by Mountain Crusher, it won't really be blocked that hard. But if it's blocked by Wild Queen and Mountain Crusher, it's going to be blocked quite a bit on brown. I mean, I think it would work. Just switch the Iron Gut and Queen, I feel. The only thing to look out for is Yagwe Queen of Tanya. If you're up against Yagwe Queen of Tanya, they will obviously be hitting you really hard. And you're going to need a really quick kill off of High King Iron Gut if that happens. However, that's even more reason kind of put High King Iron Gut there. A little bit of a liability that he might die. But he has a much better chance of living than Wild Queen does. Because once he gets his Devourer, he's probably not going to die. It is a pretty gloomy day today. I even lost electricity last week with that storm that went through America for a little bit. It was out the entirety of, I think it was Friday morning or Saturday morning last week. I think it was Friday morning. I've been getting quite a few gloomy days since then as well. Like, I'm looking out my window and it's almost looks black. Like, it doesn't look like it's nighttime, but looks all shadowy. It's only 2 p.m. Though, good day to stay indoors and do nothing. A good Gems of War grinding day. So we should be pretty close at level 63. Oh, we already got it. No, we're pretty close because we already got it. I wasn't even paying attention. Well, let me go hand out code. I did say at 63 we'd hand out code. And that is a 63 right there. So let me go get out the code. Where'd you go? Where are you hiding from me, code? Let's see. Let me take this off so I can actually have 2 hands to go do this with. I hate it when it keeps clunking against the thing. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did it go? Let's see. That's not it. One of these pages has to be the link for the code. Did I get rid of the code link? There it is. Found it. Kind of. It should be this one right here. Double check. Are you the code? You are the code. And I'll put that right there. Copy, copy. Paste, paste. And there you guys go. There's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com with the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over here is what you put in. Redeem code can be found right over in chat. Just copy and paste the random numbers and letters. And it gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. It's only usable on PC mobile version. There you guys go. Okay, there's code. And if you want even more loot, go claim Adventure Board. Because gosh, Adventure Board is great value today. Actually, this might be the most profitable Adventure Board we've ever had. As far as overall loot. It's pretty high up there. I don't think we've ever gotten 2 Mythics on a given week. I'm not even sure that's possible. If it is, it's very rare. It's definitely one of the better weeks we've had, or better days we've had for Adventure Board. Will I ever give code for Xbox? Unfortunately, due to policies on consoles, they can't actually do codes on console versions. They're currently only available on PC Mobile. That may change into the future as the policy changes some for PS5 and Xbox Series X. But as it currently stands, they have policies that make it so they can't actually do codes on them. They've tried in the past and haven't been able to. They might eventually try again, but it's a little bit low priority on their things to do. Because last time they tried, they weren't even able to get it through. And due to that reason, they don't want to waste time on it again. Because they have a lot of other things to be working on the game. Like next patch that will hopefully be in a few weeks to a month or so. It's probably late March or early April. Seems like the time frame for it. Because the beta test hasn't started. But once the beta test starts, it's like 3 to 4 weeks away to patch, generally speaking. Because that's about the time frame they start doing beta prior to a patch. And then once the beta ends, it normally takes about a week or 2 before it gets launched. Sometimes a little bit longer. But it needs to go through approval process on all the platforms at that point. So no problem, George and everyone else. Enjoy the code. And it should last for probably about 10 more minutes, so definitely make sure to claim it if you haven't already. I think they normally have about 300 claims or so. It's based on number of claims, not any time frame. But even though we have less viewers than that, of course it gets shared with guilds and other things that makes it get eaten up a bit quicker. Splody splody. Splitty splitty. And dead. How vicious the thorns are. I'm really curious what our kill count is of Rowan. Just Rowan. Like if we could like get a number of the kill count of every single troop in the game. I think Rowan might have the highest amount of kills of any troop in the game. Just because of how meta it is for doing exactly what we're doing right now. But I'm pretty sure she has the highest kill count in the game. If you look at just sheer amount of kills. And due to how accessible she is. Because pretty much everyone owns Rowan. You get it for free from Forest of Thorns, so just doing that kingdom gives it to you. And then when people see that boost ratio, they probably try using it immediately. Or at least a good handful of people probably do. Especially if they already have some tokens of guard or something. Because they can use that for extra armor buff for her. She's more deadly than atomic bombs. She has killed billions. I don't think that one website that tracks total amount of battles tracks every battle. I think it only does PvP. Let me go double check. Otherwise, Rowan's probably my most used troop in the game. That or Leprechaun. I don't think those get tracked though. Let me double check. What am I looking for? I'm looking for GOWDB.com. Did I type it in wrong? gemsawardatabase.com. Did the website get taken down? Or is it not a .com? Pretty sure it was. Wait, is the website not a thing anymore? Gems of War database? No. There's still a few good things on there. Gems of War database. Not found. Did the URL change again? Or did it finally get taken down? Because in Google search it still pops up, but it says it's not found. When did that happen? RIP Gems of War database. That was such a great website. Oh, that lasted for so long too. That was actually like the original good location to go to until Terran's World kind of just overruled everything. Now how am I going to get a timeline of everything? Gems of War database was the last place where we had like a good timeline of the entire game. I hope that's archived somewhere. I'm not sure if it's actually taken down. Does anyone have actual info on that? I never realized that was a thing. Unless the servers just happen to be down for it right now. Or maybe she just forgot to renew the URL. Well, if it is down, isn't there some kind of way to check what past pages used to look like? Because if the website is officially down, we need some kind of new location to keep track of the entire history of the game. Not sure who's currently doing that, but we need someone on that because that's really useful info. Very, very useful info. Oh, hello, Steve. Welcome. I am the living Gems of War encyclopedia. I know, but I can't remember every single specific thing like that. Last snapshot was January 19th on Web Archive. But that would still have a lot of info on it then. Yeah, someone's definitely going to need to still keep track of the full history of the game. Hopefully Terran's World will end up adding it. That's like one of the biggest features that Gems of War database still had that Terran's World didn't. There's several other features too. That was the main useful feature that I actually personally used. That Gems of War database had that it didn't. It still doesn't, unless they're going to be adding it. Hello, Viper Win. Welcome. But yeah, Gems of War database was pretty much the original really good website for Gems of War info. At one point in the game, it was the only location you could really go to search for magic values, because magic values weren't really set up. That the readability of it was really bad within the game itself. One of the reasons it was originally created was there was info on the Gems of War website itself. It used to have a page that had like every single troop in the game, which used to be like really outdated at one point in the game, especially about a year into the game. And then because it was so outdated, the community, or specifically Lila, ended up making basically her own website that was fully up to date. And then the devs basically stopped updating their own page and just eventually took it down because Gems of War database was just so much better. And yeah. I believe it was even referenced in game at one point. Let me double check. Was it ever referenced in game? I don't think it was. I'm not sure if it was. It was under yeah, I'm not sure if it ever was on this page over here. I'm not 100% certain if it was ever mentioned. Ever since they did the new format, probably not. I forget if it was at one point. Anyways. Yeah, it was a really great platform for quite a long while. And even to its day, it still had features that other locations didn't have. Do I run magic or armor with this team? Armor. Because Rowan actually gains more damage from armor than from magic. She gains double the amount of damage from armor. Because she has 2 times boost ratio. Whereas our magic is 1-to-1. What's the verdict on the new class? Good or bad? It's always been bad. It was at least like a bad viable prior to the nerf. But after they made it work as intended, it's just been bad. The only reason I'm leveling it is for 2 reasons. One is so we could show it on its strongest state, which is still weak, but at least to a point where you know how it's going to act once it's fully maxed. But other than that, we also need it for kingdom upgrades. Not immediately, but into the future. So we're getting it up now. Hello, Liz! Welcome! Hope your weekend's been going good. Hope Valentine's went well. You hope they buff some useless troop to make more teams viable. Tired of the same 4 or 5 teams dominating. Yeah, they really do need to go around and quite literally just have some patches where all they do is just rebalance troops. There's a lot of rebalance this game still needs, and it has for a while that they've never gotten around to. So hopefully they'll get community feedback on it for when they do, particularly beta tester feedback. Because they have yet to do a single beta test centered around rebalance. We have never had a single beta test on rebalance. Would be a pretty cool concept to have. Some specifically in the beta and some specifically publicly. Depending on how they wanted to separate it up. But it's something that needs to happen eventually. Because there's a lot of dead content in this game. That could easily be revamped with just some super small changes. Would changing the thing to +4 or 5 attack on reds actually help the hero class? Well, it would definitely be an improvement, obviously. Would it make it enough to be viable? 5 might. Not sure about 4. Is 5 attack per red? You could get a few reds per turn. That can end up stacking up to be an okay amount of attack value. And then you enrage it to get even more. And then maybe synergize it with a different Hunter's Mark to actually finally make it go to kill range. Biggest issue is it takes too much setup to actually get to one-shot range with this hero class compared to other hero classes. Other hero classes can set up to one-shot range almost immediately. Whereas this thing takes quite a bit more time to reach that point. Because you'd actually have to red loop some. And at that point you might as well just kill with a red loop team than to bother using the hero class to kill with skull spam after. It's a bit of a weird troop. Yeah, as far as hero classes currently in the game, I would say the tier list is probably Titan, Monk that's coming in on a couple weeks from now. So it's Titan as the best, Monk is second. Third probably being somewhat of a tie between Sentinel and Plague Lord. Fourth being Frost Mage. Fifth probably being Sunspear. And that's most of the hero classes you'd probably need. There's a few other utilities here and there, like Warden and such. As far as the really big ones, those are the main ones. The biggest issue, though, is there's a lot of utility hero classes these days that are worth considering to get up. The main utility hero classes are Frost Mage, though it's still a good standalone hero class. But Frost Mage for Freeze, Plague Lord for Disease. What was the other one? I was just thinking of one. The really important one that's utility based. Wow, why did I just go blank? Why can I never remember? I was just literally thinking of it and then forgot. It's oh yeah, duh. Warden for Dispel into Greenstorm. Those are probably the three biggest utility classes right now that you wouldn't use for every single team, but use them in really specific teams to make them work. I guess Sunspear can almost be under that category as well. It's because of how useful Perpetual Redstorm is. It's something that's basically given to Mythics, yet a hero class has it. Hey, your Sims 4 girlfriend left you on Valentine's Day. You'll be heartbroken until Sims 5. I haven't actually played Sims 4. I do have a spare copy of it, so maybe I'll try it. Maybe we'll try it before Sims 5 ends up launching. Do we have any info yet on when Sims 5 is launching? Because I am probably going to play it at launch. I might stream some Sims 4 prior. I haven't actually played Sims 4 yet before, though. Generally, how I feel about a Sims game is how easily can you make a business and how much fun is it to do. I think I've tried doing that in every single Sims game so far. Even Sims 1, which I don't even think it really had much of a method for it, but I found a way. I think at one point I had like a whole factory of gnomes in Sims 1. Like my entire lawn were just like gnomes, which would sell out for profit. They didn't need a job. They just made gnomes for a living. They were the best gnome crafter in all of Sims 1. Sims 2, I feel like, was the first Sims that like viably added a method to have a business. And Sims 3, I feel like, was almost a downgrade compared to Sims 2. But I believe Sims 4 did it okay. I'm not sure what expansions you actually need for it to be viable, though. Or if you even need any expansions. Though, knowing Sims, you probably do. You need like an expansion to do anything. Do you want to open that door? Expansion required. It's the only thing I absolutely hate about the Sims series. Like, they have so many expansions, their expansions have expansions. And that's not even a joke. What do I grab here? We'll take our split damage. If you could build an ultimate class, which 3 trees would you choose? Stone Tree, Storm Tree, and probably Cunning Tree, I believe. Trying to think of what the perfect 3 synergy would be. I think you would actually drop Storm Tree, oddly enough, for the perfect synergy. Because you'd probably go Cunning Tree, Stone Tree, and... trying to figure out what every single thing falls on. But yeah, it's definitely Cunning plus Stone plus one other thing. I'm not sure what that one other thing would be, though. Like, would you want 7% instant kill every kill with Stealthy? Or would it be better value to have something like Brownstorm instead? I guess it really depends on what team you're running it for. One reason why Stone Tree into what's it called? Into Cunning Tree is so good is not only do you get Hunter's Mark for every single extra turn you do, which obviously in itself is already pretty strong, but you also get to have 30% Agile with Barrier if you so choose, which is pretty strong because if you use 30% Agile or 30% Dodge to dodge a Skull hit, you will not lose your Barrier, so you still get to maintain the Barrier, which is much better than Mitigation. Something like Sentinel Hero class has 40% Mitigation. However, that 40% mitigation will never make it, so their attack will stop them from breaking Barrier. It'll always break Barrier. Even if you had 100% mitigation, you'd still take 1 damage and your Barrier would break. However, if you Agile it and dodge the ability, you wouldn't lose your Barrier. So that would be a really strong combo. No hero class has it in the entire game, though, unfortunately. Best Iron Gut team? Depends what you're really running it for. But best Iron Gut team tends to be around a Mountain Crusher, Iron Gut, Zugoff, and then last slot can be any number of options depending on what you want to use as your utility troop. You can either use it as a Possessed King for some mana accumulation. You can use a Mirage Queen if you want Curse or extra Skull Spam. Those are probably the biggest two. But normally when you have a Zugoff in there, you can pretty much pull almost anything in last slot. Because Zugoff counts as your way of hitting through immunities at that point. So even just like something like a Leprechaun at that point would be pretty strong in that team. If you didn't want to go the Possessed King route or if you didn't have it. And if you don't have Zugoff, you can go the route of Mountain Crusher, Apothecary, High King Iron Guts, and then a Curse option like Mirage Queen. If not Mirage Queen, you can go Vashtagon. But Mirage Queen's obviously cheaper and more accessible. And it has Skull Spam on it, in case you need it. The only problem is the Skull Spam is forced whenever you want to Curse. So you have to make sure the board isn't too bad at the given time. And hopefully has alignment on it. So instead of Oompa Loompas, you use Gnome. What about Archmage's hero class? Oh yeah, Archmage's and what's this called is pretty good. Archmage's and Corsair hero class. They're the two hero classes that have +3 mana into a certain color. Corsair into blue and Archmage's into purple. They're decent. They're almost situationally only used on Guild War days though. Very rarely do you use them outside of blue or purple Guild War day, or you know, their respective color. They're almost solely for the purpose of Guild War. Priest is kind of almost the same way, except it can be used in Divine teams that aren't Guild War based. But they're already so pure yellow that normally they are just used for Guild Wars if you do use Priests. Similar to Corsair and Archmages. They kind of just fall under, you just use them for pure color Guild War and that's about it. For the most part. There are a few other situations, obviously. But like 90% of the time you use them is in Guild Wars specifically, if you even bother using them for those days. Because of course there's normally other options you can run. Hero class wise. I'm really curious to see how Monk pans out though. But Monk is still looking to be shape up to be really strong. I still don't think it's going to be overall better than Titan. It will situationally, obviously. Almost every single hero class can situationally be better than it. Let me go double check. Let's return to main menu. What am I looking for? I'm looking for class. But yeah, this thing has a lot of things going for it. Oh, also, remember when I said 30% dodge into barrier is really strong? Monk also has that mechanic. He doesn't have it off the tree, but he has a life, stone, and water tree. What's really noteworthy is everything that it has. It has immune to mana drain, silence. Actually, I might as well just bring it back on screen again. So here's everything it has. What am I looking for? I'm looking for View Community Hub. Go to there. Also, there's 2,000 people playing on this Steam version right now. And of course, there's other versions of the game too, based on all those right there. But anyways, what am I looking for? I'm looking for class spoilers. So This thing has so many great combos for it. First, it has like a billion immunities. It has immune to Mana Drain, Silence, Fairy Fire, Mana Burn, Stun, Death Mark, Devour. Oh, I forget everything else that the other thing has. Wait, let me read off the full list. Let's see. You don't have it, do you? Okay, I need to go find a troop that has it. Hold up. 1 second. Let me list off the full amount of immunities this thing has. Yeah, let's go just say how overpowered Monk is real quick. Hopefully they don't nerf it. It's still probably going to be slightly worse than Titan in some situations, mostly because it lacks a natural half mana start, which already makes it not as viable for multiple teams. But here's all the things it has as far as immunities. All the immunities that Monk will have is immune to Stun, Poison, Disease, Death Mark, Devour, Mana Drain, Silence, Fairy Fire, Mana Burn, as well as Freeze. However, you're normally going to have Cleanse rather than immune to Freeze. And that is every single immunity it has. The other really strong combo it has is it has the one I was actually just mentioning. It gains Barrier every single brown it takes in combination with Agile. This is the strongest, tankiest instance, pretty much, of Rock Solid, or, of the Barrier every brown. Mostly because this is better than pretty much any amount of mitigation. Since if a Agile was to trigger and you dodge the attack, you do not lose your Barrier. And while it's not a 30% off of something like Cunning Tree, 20% is still obviously pretty high. Definitely better than 0. So if that 20% was to trigger and something tries skull poking you, you will not lose your Barrier, which is very beneficial. Other than that, it gains 3 mana every single time it does an extra turn. So even though it doesn't have half mana start, for longer games, this is going to be insanely good because it's going to gain more mana overall than what a half mana start actually does. So every single extra turn you ever take, it gains 3 mana. It doesn't even matter what color it does it for. It could be a color it doesn't even use. It will gain 3 mana for the extra turn. Other than that, it has Life Tree. As far as what you would actually use from the Life Tree, probably not much. You can use the extra life. However, you'd have to give up a freeze off the Water Tree. You can use Cleanse. You kind of have to choose if you want immune to freeze or if you want to have Cleanse. But Cleanse is probably the biggest thing that you would end up using. It's underneath the second perk, which generally is a pretty useless perk on most trees. However, you have the choice of either immune to freeze or Cleanse. Obviously, if you're not up against freeze, you would run Cleanse. If you're up against a really heavy freeze team, you'd probably just run the immune to freeze instead, rather than having to worry about getting the Cleanse for it. Because you have immune to stun too, so you don't need to worry about them stunning you. For the third trait, you would most likely go into... what is the third trait? The third trait isn't too good as far as the 3 that you have, I believe. You have extra magic for pole arms, which you're basically never going to use. You have extra armor for all allies, and you have fast healing, which is 2 life every single turn. So you'd probably take the 2 life every single turn just because this hero is going to be so unkillable. Other than that, for its fourth perk, you would take the... Oh, again, we actually have 2 bad trees then. I never even realized that. It does actually have 2 bad ones. Its third and fourth are rather underwhelming. For its fourth, you can either give all blue allies 4 life, all dwarven allies 4 armor, which you're probably never going to use, and Fairy Fire a random enemy when an ally dies. So you'd probably choose the Fairy Fire then. Obviously, that's very situational. However, that does help you increase your damage. But if you were going for the tankier route, I guess you would just go for the extra blue life then. But yeah, its third and fourth perks are horrible. But then once we get to 5th, we obviously go into Barrier. For our 6th, we can go into a couple of different options depending on what we want. But we have the choice of Enchant every green. We have the choice of Brown Mastery, and we have the choice of Water Mastery. And then for its final perk, we'll obviously go Fortitude, because the other 2 are not really that good. You get all Fey allies to 2 life every turn, which isn't much. And all Merfolk allies gain 2 magic when an enemy dies, both of which aren't really going to help much. But instead, you can go for all the immunities, which is immune to Stun, Poison, Disease, Death Mark, and Devour. So basically, in conclusion, this thing will have most likely setup of Freeze at the start of battle, or you can go for Stun. For the second one, you'll have Cleanse every single extra turn, or you can go for immune to Freeze if up against a freezing team. For its next one, you'd gain 2 HP every single turn. This is heal, though. It's not a gain 2 HP, just recovering 2 HP. For the 4th, you have 4th and 5th. For just the 4th. You don't really have anything too good, so you'd probably just go for the Fairy Fire random ally whenever you have an ally that ends up dying. For the 5th, you would end up going rock solid for the barrier every single round. For 6, you would run with most likely the enchant, I would say. Probably in this instance, depends what kind of team you're doing. Probably either the enchant or the extra +1 brown. Depends which way you want to roll it. And then for the final one, you'd run with fortitude. And on top of that, it would have immune to mana burn, mana drain, fairy fire, and silence, as well as 20% dodge, which synergizes with your barrier every round, and it gains a bunch of mana every single time you extra turn. It has a lot of things going for it. Biggest downside is it counts as a Mystic. Mystic has no half mana start currently, and it doesn't have a natural half mana start. So the biggest thing holding this hero class back is no half mana start in the current state of the game. There's not even a way to give it half mana start. You're just going to have to give it a 20%. But of course you gain 3 mana every single turn, extra turn, which makes up for it quite quickly. Hello, Chimera! Welcome. But yeah, that hero class is going to be really, really funny when it comes out. Also, when it's coming out is March 13th, so that's pretty close. It's about a month from now. Yeah, Gems Award database is down. I was just mentioning that earlier to stream. I'm not sure if it's like down forever or if it's just down right now. I'm not sure what's up with it. But yeah, it's not working. I was trying it earlier to stream like a half an hour ago. I thought it was like down for good. I wasn't like panicking, but I really hope it doesn't go down for good. It's a really nice tool. It's a rather old one though. It was like pretty much the original good tool for the game. Like, it was the first really solid tool that was ever really made online. About 3.5, 4 years ago or so, whenever it was. Alright, am I still saving Vault Keys? Yes, we're at 141 Vault Keys. We actually got one just streamed earlier, too. We're pretty lucky on that. But yes, we're still hoarding all of our Vault Keys. And the main reason I'm doing this is there's still a chance this year that they're going to be revamping Vault Keys. You know, it seems like it's taking them forever to get around to it, but we still don't know if it's going to be a buff or a nerf. Obviously, the main reason I'm holding out is it might be a buff. And we're going to know ahead of time before the patch ever comes on if it will be a buff or a nerf. So we can basically adjust accordingly. And even if it's a nerf, it might still be worth saving keys till then. Mainly even if it's a nerf, they're probably going to be increasing substantially the rate of which you accumulate the common troops from vaults. As you guys know, there are about, like, what, 5 or 6 common troops in vaults? I think it's closer to 6. And all of these are excessively hard to get to Mythic. And changes to vault keys, regardless of if it's an overall buff or nerf to the loot, will end up making those troops way easier to obtain in large amounts. So that you can actually go and max them. They even made mention that it might eventually be a kingdom. Like, a vault might be its own kingdom eventually. The Vault Kingdom, if they ever finally revamp vault keys in a way that works. It might even be a part of 5.0. Because 5.0 is adding another area to the game. And there is a slight possibility that that other area includes the vault. If it thematically fits there. We still don't really know what they're going to be doing with the new area. If it even is coming in 5.0. But if there was a time, it would be 5.0 where it'd come. Because 4.0 was factions. So it'd make a lot of sense that 5.0 would be another zone as well. Plus they made hints about it in the past, though nothing definitive. So like how they did Guardians? Kind of. Not in the same way though. Because they're gonna add, or at least based on what they said in the past, they're gonna add difficulties to vault keys. Currently there's difficulties there, but they have no effect on loot. Basically, they're going to be adding difficulties that have an actual effect on loot to those vault keys. And it'll be basically higher risk, higher reward. There's a possibility that the lowest one, like the lowest difficulty, might give less loot than what the current difficulty gives now. However, the highest difficulty is likely to give better loot than the current loot. And the middle difficulty is probably to give the same loot that it does now, or very similar to it. Though we don't know too much on specifics on it yet. If they're even still going to do that revamp, which is pretty likely that they will. Just takes them a while. Feels like they mention things like years in advance before they ever get around to it. But I'm still hoarding the keys just in case. Been hoarding them for like a little over a year now, I think. Actually, it's almost been a year and a half, I'm not even sure. It's been a while. Definitely at least a year. made a lot of progress yesterday. You only need like 10 more gems and you will buy it. 10 more gems until what? Let's see. I finished almost all the overworlding at level 140. Nice. Yeah, what are you saving gems for? Not sure we end up mentioning it for. Oh, Dragon Armor. Yeah, Dragon Armor is really great to pick up if you're not planning on spending $50 for Death Knight. Death Knight's the best armor in the game, but it is blocked behind $50. The best alternative if you're not going to buy the $50 armor is get Dragon Armor and then eventually get Celestial Armor. Dragon Armor is definitely higher priority, though. If you do need a few more gems, if you have the Glory sitting around, go buy some treasure maps and just do treasure hunts. You can get 10 gems in treasure hunt in under 10 minutes, most likely. Aim for getting green chests. And just spam click as quickly as you can until you get a bunch of green chests. Rinse and repeat a couple times and you'll have 10 gems. Yeah, the method's pretty quick for it. If you go to the Glory shop, you can infinitely buy maps off of Glory. So if you go over here to shop, go to Glory Rewards, you can just infinitely buy maps, however many you want, in whatever increment. 200, no, I was kidding. But 200 is not even that bad, it's 6,000 Glory. But yeah, and then you just do treasure hunt a bit, and it goes relatively quick. And then you just aim for green chests, and you can end up getting pretty substantial amount of gems that way. It's about 50 to 70 per hour. And then you just take the moves as quickly as possible while aiming for as many green chests as you can. Also, don't get red chests. They actually lower your value, technically. You should do everything you can to not get a red chest if you can. If it can be helped. And that took what? Oh, it doesn't let me get to see the settings. That should have took us like about a minute and a half or so. And from that we got a gem. And you just rinse and repeat that over and over again. I'm just surprised we only got one. But and you just keep doing it over and over again. On average you get like one gem per thing. So I guess that's the average. Anyways. But it seems like we're on track to get multiple. Every single green chest has a 1 in 4 chance of giving you a gem. I was about to say, speaking of gems, but no, Gnome didn't give us any gems. He has a 5 and 20 gem drop. Didn't get either. Only 100 useless souls. You pulled up Sidious this morning, congrats. And watch your video. Any new teams come together since he was released? Yes and no. I wouldn't really say anything meta has really formed out of him, but he tends to get used as a utility troop against teams where you desperately need to stun it. He's also particularly good for Brown Guild War Day. I feel like there is any time he tends to shine the most, it's Brown Guild War Day. He tends to get incorporated into those. Really any of the 3 Guild War days. But if there's really annoying traits on any of those days, you tend to like to get a stun on. And one of the reasons why Brown's a little bit better is Yagway Queen Titania is pretty popular to use. And stunning Queen Titania before it fairy fires you can greatly reduce the amount of damage they're going to do to you. It also makes it so we can't lifesteal off all the reds. But the main part is to make sure that you can't get fairy fired by Queen Titania's final trait. So it's a really great on Brown Day to counter that. And then you just use it into whatever 3 other troops you might want to focus on. Like Mountain Crusher, Corvash, something Obsidious. There's a few different ways that you can run it depending on what you have and what you want to run against what you're up against. But Brown Guild War, I would say, is his probably biggest purpose. It's a really PvP and Guild Wars oriented troop for sure. But it's mostly a utility troop. Like, you wouldn't go out of your way to build around it. It's something that you would plop into your team to hard counter something on the enemy. It's not something that would work against any team because almost all of its value, like 80% of the value of using the troop is its 4x stun. And if you're not using the 4x stun to specifically hard counter something, you're losing almost all the value of the troop. Because that's his whole premise, pretty much, is to get that stun off. Because 1 extra turn just immediately stuns everything, assuming they're not immune. What level are we at? 64? I guess we'll go for 65. So if anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, once we hit 65, we'll probably wrap up until about 5 hours from now, in which we'll be continuing on our grind, as well as doing Purple Guild War Day today, of which we'll probably be running a really cheap Vespera team. Obviously, Vespera herself isn't cheap, but everything else on the team, unless I'm going to revamp it, are going to be commons. I've been considering putting some purple yellows in there, but I think we're going to keep it as pure purple just to see how it goes again. Because the reason for doing purple and yellows on that team is Doomed Scythe converts all yellow to purple. I mean, yellow to Doom Skull, I mean. Which is obviously very impactful for its alignment. But I don't know, we'll probably keep it as pure color just to see. Well, obviously pure color, but you know, a lot of troops that are just the same color. It's also great to show because it's a really low rarity if you ignore the Mythic. It's all commons, minus the Mythic. Of course, it requires the Mythic to work. But it's a really weird Mythic team in that every single thing is basically just a common. Which is kind of funny. And even if you don't have Doom Scythe, you can actually just run double Skeleton. Which allows it to be truly pure common, aside from the Mythic. Yeah, collecting tribute every single hour does help. However, when you're in early game, taking tribute every hour isn't really that impactful. Taking tribute every hour doesn't start become impactful until you have about 4-star All Kingdom. And then it doesn't start to become really viable until 9-star All Kingdom. And the main reason those two intervals are relevant is that's where the two biggest multiplier spots are. I believe 4 is when you have both the 2 times, and I believe 9 is when you have both the 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. As far as the multiplier for your overall loot that you get off a tribute. I'm pretty sure that's how it falls. Let me double check. Yes. By 4, you have the triple reward and triple tributes. And then by... Wait, why does it say triple? Yeah, double. That's what I thought. By 4, you have the double tribute and double reward. So the tribute's the main thing that gives you the extra gems. And by 9, you have the triple. And those are the two biggest intervals that end up substantially increasing the rate of diamonds or gems that you get per hour from taking tribute. With 9 being the really big initial one. Because from 9 all the way to 19, you're only gaining a 1x multiplier. Which is a very, very small amount. So you're getting a good majority of it by the time you reach level 9. Because everything from 10 to 19 is only an additional 1x. Which is how much you get of a difference between just going from 0 to 4. Is how much a difference there is. The difference between 0 and 4 is pretty much the difference between 9 to 19. So obviously these values become very, very valuable. And getting base every single kingdom to 9, as well as eventually 10, is a pretty important part of mid-game to late game. Because not only does it make your tribute excessively viable for you to be able to do other late game stuff, like have enough gems to constantly do various events and such, but it also gives you some extra stats once you reach the 10. But yeah, 2 really big milestones, like pretty much right next to each other over there. Anyways, let's go get this last level. What do gems start dropping from tribute? They always start dropping from tribute. The thing that determines how many gems you get from tribute is the amount of tributes you get minus 1. So if you get 8 tributes, you get 7 gems. If you get 3 tributes, you get 2 gems. If you get 20 tributes, you get 19 gems. And the gold keys are based off the same thing, except it's also multiplied by 2. So if you get a 10 tribute, you'll get 18 gold keys. If you get something like a 21 tribute, you get 40 gold keys, so on and so forth. It's the number of tributes you get minus 1 in parentheses times 2 is what it comes out to for gold keys. And the gems are just minus 1 into whatever the tribute is, which is really easy to tell. But you can get them at any point. Even with no stars, it's possible to get. even if you just have level 10 all kingdoms. Obviously, it's a lot less likely, but it's still possible. You just at that range, you'd only be getting like a few gems each time, if even any sometimes. But this late in the game with how many multipliers we have, I believe my average is like 10 to 12 per tribute, somewhere around there. And even once you have every single kingdom at level 9, I think the average is somewhere around 8 to 10, just from having every single kingdom at level 9. And by level 9, I mean 9 stars, not the kingdom level, the power level. They're two different things. Kingdom level is the one you use gold on. Power level is the one that gives you a bunch of objectives you need to do in order to increase it. Both of them are important, though. However, kingdom level, you don't really need to worry about getting it much beyond 10. Like, once you get it to 10, you can kind of just keep it there for pretty much every single kingdom. Except for, like, magic kingdoms and such. But, the stars you always want to be working on every single kingdom. Because even on the most useless of kingdoms, they still help with tributes, regardless of how useless the kingdom itself is. Because doing post level 10 for the actual kingdom level does actually matter how viable the kingdom is for the most part, because it determines what bonuses you end up getting, as well as what kingdom ends up getting a bonus, as well as what extra stat you end up gaining. Whereas for something like power level, while some of those things still apply, the main thing that matters is just getting higher tribute off it more often than not. And regardless of the kingdom, they all pretty much gain the same amount of benefit from having higher tribute. Mostly because the main reward you get off a tribute is the gems from getting multiple tributes at once. Because I'd probably get over 100 gems per day just by clicking that button and doing nothing else. Just spending what is effectively less than like 10-20 minutes a day taking tribute gives over 100 gems a day. At least this late in the game anyways. Geez, what did we get on our previous tribute? 14, 16? It was somewhere around there. 1 to 2. There's definitely a double digit. If anyone else does any other questions, let me know. You got a lucky 250 gems from a Vault Key earlier today. Congratulations. Very nice. Yep, that is one of the better drops there in Vault Keys. It's actually the highest amount of gems you can ever get from a single drop in the entire game, with the only exception being leaderboards and guild wars. But as far as from something that you can just randomly get at any time, it's the highest amount of gem value that you can ever get, or the highest amount of gems that you can ever get, I should say. Not gem value, but specifically physical gems. It's pretty nice. The chance for it's really low, obviously. It is possible. I think I've only gotten it 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, the 250 gem drop. It's been out for about a year and a half now, the 250 gem drop. It was out a little bit prior to when they announced the rework to keys, or, you know, to vaults. Because I've already opened enough to have gotten it a few times. So it had to have been at least like half a year prior to that. But yeah, it was a pretty nice addition to them. They also ended up revamping the orb rate, so that orbs would drop at a much higher rate. Yes, 250 is the most gems you can ever get from a Vault Key. However, there are things that have better gem value. Some things that have better gem value than the 250 gem key drop is a single Orb of Ascension, a major Orb of Ascension, a small Orb of Ascension, a major Orb of Ascension, and a large Orb of Clans. Those 3 drops have better gem value than 250 gems. However, none of them are actually 250 gems. A blue orb can save you about 400, 500 gems or so, but isn't directly gems. And a major blue doesn't necessarily have a direct value, but it's generally considered worth about 1,000 gems. And other than that, the major purple counts as about 75 gem keys, which is about the later in the game, which is the equivalent of 675 gems if you break it down for its actual value. Yeah, it's a really great drop to get for sure, the 250 gem thing. The chance is really low, though. I want to say it's like 1 in 50, 1 in 30. Somewhere within that range. Which that might sound high, but of course you don't tend to get that many Vault keys. Trying to get something like 50 Vault keys definitely is not a quick process, that's for sure. Oh wow, you got some really nice luck then. Got all majors? And a 250 gem? That's pretty lucky. And Major Wisdom's pretty useful earlier on in the game, because it saves time on trading. Later in the game, it's really bad. But while you're still in the process of trading everything in the game, it can save quite a bit of time. Using it on a Mythic saves approximately 2 to 3 hours of having to grind out trade stones for it. Possibly even closer to 4 hours. It depends what rate at which you can farm Explore. But it saves you at least a few hours of having to grind trade stones. Major Green has always been pretty bad though, because the amount of savings that you get is relatively low. Even if you use it on a Mythic, you're only saving about a half an hour of soul farming, even with slower methods. And if you have quicker methods, it saves even less time than a half an hour. The blues are some of the best for troops, or are the best for troops that you can use on them, just because it saves you a lot of gem value and keys that you wouldn't have to open. And purple also just gives you basically more keys to open, which is where they get their value from. You have 53 major greens now. Well, do use some of them at least. It's helped save some souls that you can put towards elite levels if you're at that point, or if nothing else, to go and get more troops leveled if you're still leveling troops. You should only really be using them on legends and mythics though, of course. Especially mythics. You can still use them on legend for pretty good value, especially if you have the legend not leveled yet but ascended to mythic. You get some pretty decent value out of that, because that gives you an additional 1,000 souls that you wouldn't get otherwise. Because the green will only do it up to their ascension. So if you use on a level 1 legend, it will go to 19, not 20, because you don't have it ascended to mythic yet, which would lose out 1,000 souls at that point. I'm not even sure how many major greens I have, because I do use some of them on occasion. Plus we have to throw 24 of them when we've crafted Zugoff. Oh, I gotta double check. How many are we at? Major green, where are you? Troops, if it'll let me click. That's not where they are. Under here. Inventory. We have 56. I'm currently sitting on 56 major greens with 149 small ones, but I do use them on occasion. We got 6 blues, 2 major blues, 249 wisdoms, and 17 major wisdoms. And I have actually not used a single Orb of Clans ever on this account. And I have 158 Orb of Clans and 41 major. Actually, didn't I use one? I think I did one just to prove a point at 1 week. So maybe I used one ever. But I think I used one small Orb of Clans once, but that's it. And I've never naturally gotten a Power Orb on this account. I've gotten 3 natural Power Orbs on my Nintendo Switch account. I've never bothered getting one on this account, though, just because leaderboards are so annoying to contest. And it would cost me like 5 to 8,000, maybe even 10,000 gems just to get a single Power Orb, and I don't really have an immediate need to get them. Though if I wait until we actually need them for something like a new Zugoff, that's going to be annoying, because then everyone's going to try getting them again. Even more so than people are already doing now. Anyways, that's where our orb situation is currently at. Well, the resource looks interesting. 141 Vault keys. Let's see. Our steel stack's still pretty high. Still over 1 million glory as well. Our souls can go over 10 million if we were to actually disenchant everything. And we have some arcane stacks above 1,000 already. Oh yeah, we still have 1 billion gold keys I need to go open. I still have no clue why they added this. I wish they would have some kind of way where you can get it through in-game resources. Like this, if it was available for in-game resources, would probably be useful. Like if this was 100 gems, I feel like people would go for it. Especially since it's guild-wide. I still feel like it'd be a little bit pricey at 100 gems. But I don't know, I feel like people would go for it at 100. Seems like a nice middle ground price. I'm actually really surprised they didn't add it to the shop for pet gnomes, oddly enough. The shop for pet gnomes has been very underwhelming. That would have been a great way to improve it, is to add a bunch of pet gnomes to it. Or not pet gnomes, but the pet gnome baits to it. So like every single pack has at least one pet gnome baits. And by the end, you would almost get like 10 pet gnome baits if you were to spend like 2,000 to go get a pet maxed. Actually, it can cost as much as 3,000 to get a pet max. It's normally around 2,500 though, on average. If you have 0 copies of a pet and you want to get all the copies. It's pretty expensive to do. But there's currently nothing really enticing to make you go for it. But if they added pet gnome bait to that shop, so that by the time you maxed out a pet, you got at least like 10 baits, that would actually be pretty tempting to go for then. Because not only would you get a pet maxed, you would also be able to go and get a bunch more pet battles done. I also really wish pet gnome bait would allow you to target this specific pet. That would also substantially increase its value. Like if you use a pet gnome bait to target literally any pet in the entire game, as long as they're not holiday exclusive, that would be a really, really nice thing to add. Since you get multiple pets from a gnome, they would price bait at around 500 gems. Haha. Yeah, if they took the equivalent of what the current pet shop is, and they tried valuing an entire gnome event on it, yeah, a pet bait would actually probably cost about 300 to 500 gems if they based it on that value. Almost like a summoning stone for pet. I guess it would kind of be like that. If nothing else, have it based on whatever the current Kingdom Week is. So, for example, if you use a pet bait on a Sword's Edge event right now, it'll give a Sword's Edge pet or something like that. So it'd still be random, but it'd be random based on Kingdom. I don't know. They need to do something to revamp it to make it better. There's so many, like, that. The concept of a pet bait has a lot of potential, but every single way they implemented it, like every single aspect of it, is horrible. The fact that it's money only, in a way that no one would mass buy it. So it's money only. It costs so much that no one's going to mass buy it because they're $20 each in the current state of the game, and obviously no one's going to mass buy that. They might get a few, but obviously not to like a really high degree. It's the same problem that gifts to your guild used to have, which they've increased to like 15 every $20 now. Because when it was so few, no one would ever really go for it or barely gift any. The other problem is that you don't get to target it. And the other problem is you can actually waste it if you lose the battle that you do it on. It's not even guaranteed. They need to just make it so you use it and just get a guaranteed pet automatically active. It's so weird that you have to go do a battle that you could potentially lose just to activate the pet. It's really strange. There's so many tweaks they could do to it to actually make it good. Pet gnomes and pet baits will not be changed. I feel like they will change pet bait eventually. Just because of how useless it is in current state of game. There we go. There's our level 65. Got our little milestone. Now we just need another 5 levels, and boom, we got level 70 Barbarian. We're almost there. So close yet so far. But anyways, guys, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm probably going to be heading out for now. We'll be back in 5 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we are every night. We're mostly going to be doing Purple Guild War, and then going back on the Barbarian grind. Probably getting at least level 66, and messing with all the dailies, of which we have quite a few decent ones. We have last year's Valentine's Day pet. we have one of the better adventure boards we've ever seen. A legendary brown and a 2 VIP key into 10 gem keys. This is actually pretty much the best adventure board that can ever appear, other than Mythic Deeds. But not counting Mythic Deeds, this has the highest gem value, or as far as anything that has the definitive gem value, this has the highest definitive gem value of any task you can get, of 180 gem value, which is pretty solid. Technically, some people would probably prefer getting a Mythic Deed more. I probably would too, especially Purple Deed. But still, it's as far as gem value is concerned, it has the highest gem value. A nice little combo for today. But anyways, guys, anything else? Let's see. Once you get a couple of Gob Truffles, there's no way you can lose a pet battle, pretty much. Pet battles in the current state of the game are relatively easy once you start getting some of the better options. Even on my Nintendo Switch account from a year ago, we just ran it with Mank. The second we owned Mank with Titan Hero Class at level 40, we just auto-won the pet battles. And even prior to that, I was using like a Glaceon Skull Spam that we got off as a random legend drop. And we were just running that with Cockatrice. And Cockatrice makes for a really good disable. Cockatrice, Dragonian Monk, stuff like that earlier in the game. Works pretty good. Does the Mythic change daily from VIP keys? What do you mean? No. The way that VIP keys work is it's the same drop table as whatever the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests are. So if there's an exclusive Mythic in the Glory Gem Guild or VIP chests, it's the same exclusive Mythic that's in VIP chests. However, when there's not an exclusive Mythic in the normal chests of Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests, there is no exclusive one in VIP chests either. So it's the same drop table as the other 3 keys, Glory Gem and Guild chests. So right now, there is currently no exclusive Mythic. So the entire drop table of VIP keys is basically every Mythic in the game with the exclusion of Zugoff and, what's his name? Xenos. So every single Mythic is in the drop table except for those 2, because those 2 are, of course, crafting only. But, yeah, it's the same as the Glory Gem Guild and, the Glory Gem Guild and Guild Chest. Those 3. It's the same exact drop table as those, as far as Mythics are concerned. There's not a single exclusive Mythic in here, unless there's only a exclusive Mythic at any given time, in which case they share the same drop table, which is why whenever a new Mythic comes out, it says those 4 keys, because those 4 keys are always connected as far as if they have an exclusive Mythic or if they have every Mythic in the game. VIP says it resets daily. It should still be every Mythic in the game. I'm not sure why it says it resets daily, but its drop table doesn't change daily. I don't even see anything that says it resets here. Oh, reset change in 1 day. It could be talking about Monday, though. Unless it says that literally every day. But it probably mentions that because the drop table does change every Monday. Because old troops that used to be from old events comes into the drop table. So, yes, every single Monday it does. It shouldn't be saying that every single day, though. But I believe it says 1 day is because it's not showing the hours. And it's probably referring to Monday reset. And Monday reset, its drop table would theoretically change, and that would have 1 higher drop. Some kind of troop from that were in Glories probably like 4 to 6 weeks ago or something. Well, it's 1 day and some amount of hours, which would bring it to Monday. It's just not showing the hours. Is Doomed Potion any good? No. All the potions are pretty bad. The only good Doom weapons are the 6 Doom weapons that do full AoE damage that convert to Doom Skulls. If that isn't a Doom weapon, they're useless. In the current state of the game. Yeah, those are the only 6 viable Doom weapons. The full AoE damage weapons that do Doom Skull convert. If it's not one of those 6, they're useless Doom weapons. And the potions are all useless. But anyways, guys. Yep, no problem for answering. I will see all of you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Again, I'll be back in about 5 hours from now. Feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll be back later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will catch all of you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.